Welcome to UND Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. On tonight's show, we'll take a look at North Dakota's football homecoming date with Idaho State. Head coach Bubba Schweigert will analyze the highlights in just moments. Also on tonight's show, a special family reunion for North Dakota redshirt defensive lineman Austin Cieslak. We'll also take a look at the North Dakota volleyball team in this past week. UND hooked up with Idaho State last Saturday, the first time that the Bengals had visited Grand Forks since 1966. Idaho State won the football game 37-31. The head coach, Bubba Schweigert, returns. Bubba, good to be back with you again for the third consecutive week. You had a conference game that went down to the final minutes of the fourth quarter. This one, though, a different result.
Yeah, we're disappointed. We really felt like we let an opportunity slip away to win a game and move to 3-0 in the league. But, you know, we always are going to learn from it and take a look at what we can do better and improve our football team.
You know, people like to look at a couple of flash points in the game, the final pass into the end zone, the Keaton Studsrud injury. But in the fourth quarter, you just didn't get enough first downs to sustain the football.
Yeah, that was the quarter you got to win. You know, we think there's a lot of balance in our league, and we had a lot of respect for Idaho State. We knew if they came in and didn't turn the ball over, they're going to be tough on us. And we didn't force a turnover, and we had 3 ourselves. So it's hard to win games when you lose the turnover battle.
All right, Bubba, we'll take a look at the highlights coming up next here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota, RideLCars.com, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back. North Dakota entered last Saturday's game with Idaho State inside the top 25 in the FCS coaches poll. Bubba, let's take a look at the highlights from homecoming day at the Alerus Center, and a couple of early turnovers here were bugging you in the football game.
Yeah, you know, you want to get off to a good start and just, one on a special team and one, ball that was probably thrown a little late. If we had it over, we'd throw it earlier, and then we fumble on the other end. So it just really not the start you want to get off to.
And this is the special teams turnover that will lead to Idaho State points.
Yeah, we're concerned about this coming in. You know, they do this rugby punt, and they're hard balls to handle, and you just got to somehow take a possession and maybe let the roll go at that time.
So Michael Sanders hooks up with KW Williams, a familiar connection all day long for an early lead, but you'll respond here with a drive, 9-play, 55-yard drive.
Yeah, and offensively, we've been doing a good job of that this year. After our opponents score, we've answered, and that's huge for our football team's momentum.
Heavy dose of the run game here in this drive. 7 of the 9 plays were run plays.
Yeah, our guys did a good job once again running the football, especially the first 3 quarters, and John was real patient hitting the crease again.
And then you're going to finish it off with Keaton Studsrud finding Josh Seibel crossing the middle here.
Yeah, very good call by Coach Rudolph. Got the coverage we were looking for in that area of the field, and we're able to put it in the end zone.
All right, good answer by your team. You're up 7-6. You stop ISU, and then they give you the ball back in this punt game error.
Yeah, if you're going to rugby punt, we felt we could get pressure on them, and that's exactly what happened. We surprised them a little bit because we didn't come after them on the first one of the game.
So you got it at the 31 of Idaho State. Zach Adler with a good block here, and John Santiago in your run game is going to produce a quick touchdown off the punt.
Yeah, and you always want to answer when you get the ball in their end, and that's what really hurts the team if you can hurt them on special teams or create some turnovers.
John Santiago, a career day running the football, and he's going to get to the end zone here, and this is just a really fine individual play.
Yeah, he just real good speed, and he's very elusive. He just bounces it outside and when there's nothing there and makes a good play for us.
14-6. You got back-to-back scores. You're back in control of the game here despite those early turnovers. Second quarter now, and your next possession, Santiago running again. Brandon Anderson on the second level there had a great block.
Yeah, Brandon, we didn't even know he was going to play till Friday afternoon.
Right.
Really had a pretty solid game for us.
And then Tyler Cooter had a big day, stripped Santiago of the football, and Idaho State will cash in off this turnover. Yeah,
this was a big momentum swing in the game. We're driving to go up 3 scores, and they answer with a score after the turnover.
Madison Mangum had a big day catching the football for the Bengals, so it's 15-14 Idaho State, but late second quarter, one of your better drives of the day, 11 plays, 80 yards here, Bubba.
Yeah, and this was huge because we wanted to score late in the half, and then we get the opening kickoff of the second half, and this is a big momentum swing also.
Keaton Studsrud here. Look at him. Once he gets to the sideline, he's not looking to get out. He's looking to get more yards.
Yeah, he's very elusive and a great run here, and he still gets out of bounds to stop the clock. clock late in the first half.
And then Studger would find Miguel Saratino. Just a very efficient drive here.
It really was. Once again, taking what the coverage gives you and moving the chains.
And then with 42 seconds left in the half, really fine protection for Studger as he completes the touchdown pass.
Yeah, we protected really well in the first half, and that let us down late in the game also. But happy to get that score right before half. That was a big, big drive for our team.
Just before half, 21-15 at the half. 12 of Idaho State's 15 points in the first half came off turnovers. Other than that, pretty good half for you.
Yeah, it was all turnovers and
Yeah,
a couple penalties that we weren't happy with, but really the turnovers. And we just got to take care of the football because it's hard to win games if you don't win the turnover battle.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the second half highlights here. And Bubba, you always talk about the first couple possessions of the third quarter setting the tone for the second half. They were positive possessions for your football team.
Yeah, very good. Here we see Brady running the football. He had a nice contribution to the offense on Saturday and just really controlling the tempo of the game. This is what we want to do, is win the time of possession battle.
Yeah, and really converting key third downs in this particular possession.
Yeah, and the way we play, we're going to have third downs, and we just got to execute and convert those plays.
Oliveira gets a first down here. Then on 3rd and 6, Studrud sacked for a 7-yard loss, and this will be the play in which Keaton Studrud is injured and then never returns to the game.
Yeah, you never want to see those injuries, especially, Keaton was really having a fine day.
And, yeah, it was.
And our team's got to be able to handle it, and we'll work forward and move forward with this injury, and we got to really be prepared for Ryan to play the game.
All right, so it's Ryan Bartle's game the rest of the way for your offense here, and what'd you think of Bartle's play overall?
Well, Ryan's really a gutsy performer and competitor, and we liked a number of the things he did, and it's not an easy situation when you come into the game in the second half. It's probably a little easier if you enter the game the first half and get a chance at halftime to settle down, but he made some plays for us and got us in the end zone one time, and just would have liked to see our offense kind of rally around him and do better in the fourth quarter.
John Santiago's getting a lot of yards after contact these days.
Very strong for a guy that isn't real big in stature, but he's hard to tackle, and he really has done a good job getting extra yards.
Late third quarter, 31-15 at home. You're dominating the game at this point, but boy, did it change in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it really did, and the way it changed was you cannot allow explosive plays on defense, and for the way this team plays, no lead is safe because they can score in a hurry. We feel their quarterback's a very good player, and obviously Magnum and their receiving core is tough matchups for any secondary, and they were going to be able to score some points if you don't control the football.
Yeah, just one first down in the fourth quarter. They had the ball twice as much in terms of time of possession. And did your defense start wearing down at this stage of the game, Bubba, because you were a little shorthanded on the back end of your secondary?
Well, and that's where the health situation of our team starts to show up just a bit.
Yeah.
It's your depth. You aren't rotating guys probably as much as you'd like when you're getting in these situations. But we had plenty of chances and plenty of third downs to stop drives and get off the field.
You call a blitz here, they caught you in the blitz, and they had the perfect play called on the blitz.
Yeah, they executed it well. We actually have a man assigned to the screen, but we just couldn't get through all the old linemen. Give our opponent credit. That was well executed.
22 unanswered points by Idaho State to take the lead with 6:15 left. But then your defense on the next Idaho State possession is going to give the ball back to your offense, and you got a chance here now late in the game.
You sure do, and that's what you ask your team every week. Just give us a chance at the end, and our guys hung in there. It was a 2nd and 1. We made it a 3rd and 2 and stopped them. And we have a great opportunity here going down the stretch.
36 yards to Zach Adler there, and you're working here now. It comes down to 4th down and 6, and Bartles is going to look to the end zone for John Santiago.
Yeah, a deep ball here, a lot of contact, and you live with the result. Obviously, we had our chances throughout the game. We can't be concerned about that, and maybe could have run it a little bit differently that last drive, but sure would have liked to see us get another shot here.
As you looked at tape, were there other options for Ryan Bartles on that play that might have been opportunities?
Yeah, we were hoping to get the first down. We thought we had a good opportunity for a possession throw, and he just chose to do another thing, and we'll live with it, and we look forward.
37-31 the final. UND now 2-1 in the Big Sky. Here's your players after the game.
We just didn't get off the field on 3rd down when we needed to. We allowed some big plays to happen. We had some mistakes in the coverage game, to be honest, and we're not good enough right now to allow that to happen and still win the game.
We knew it was going to be a fourth quarter game, but it's like we had them by 16 going into the fourth. It's tough. It's tough losing homecoming all the time, and especially when there's so many fingers to point. It was a good win by Idaho State.
I feel like to be successful in this offense, we need to sustain long drives like we did last week, and we didn't do that at the end of the game.
We just got to capitalize on opportunities, and I don't feel like we did that for the most part today. But, yeah, we just got to fight back and come back better next week.
Coming up next here on UND Sports Extra, it was not only a football weekend for Austin Cieslak, but a family weekend. We'll have that story for you.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota, RideLCars.com, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back. Redshirt freshman defensive end Austin Cieslak grew up in Hazen under the care and guidance of Joni and Sheldon Cieslak. What many never knew is that Austin had another chapter of his personal life, one that he recently opened. And this past weekend, he met two other people very important in his life. Game day.
Third down!
Back up, Idle and Seidel leads as well for Idaho State.
Austin Cieslak came to North Dakota with strong credentials, a multi-sport star at Hazen, the state's Male Athlete of the Year in his senior season. He also came to UND with some unfinished business, not at all related to football, purely about the man he is.
Every now and then someone asks me, like, hey, you meet your real parents? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't have information on them or names or anything like that. So,
Austin was barely 5 pounds when he was born. He arrived a month and a half early, the fourth child born to Morgan, who admits at the time of Austin's birth, she was lost, 19 years old and facing a divorce. She decided to put young Austin up for adoption.
I gave him up so that he would be successful. I gave him up so that he would have a life of success, you know, and have a chance.
Fast forward to June of 2014. Austin turned 18. He was given a box from his mother that had been sealed since his adoption. It contained a letter from his mom.
it was a huge emotional experience. Like, you read it, and like she explained why she had to give me up and all that kind of stuff. And I read the one from my dad too, and it was a big emotional experience. It was a lot coming at you really fast.
Austin was about to open the lines of communication and begin a new journey in hopes of reconnecting with his biological mom and siblings.
My son came running in the room, and I was laying across the bed. I wasn't really feeling very well, and he told me, he said, "Mom, you know, you have to see this." And I didn't want to be bothered because I thought it was something on YouTube that he was trying to show me, and I was like, not interested. He was like, "No, Mom, you need to see this." And I said, "Well, just tell me what it is." And then he told me it's Austin, and my heart dropped. And I took a breath and I began to cry because I was just so overcome with emotion.
I was never angry with her as a kid or growing up. Like, I knew there's probably a reason why it happened.
He came back and said that he was so happy that he had finally found us. And when he came back and said he was happy, I began to cry even more because that wasn't the reaction that I thought that I was going to get from my son.
Austin and his mom spent hours on the phone, sharing their lives. He learned his brother, Hedrick, is very much like him, big, strong, and a defensive lineman who plays for Texas A&M.
When it popped up, it was pretty shocking at first, but then I was like, well, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Football's a family thing.
And while they reconnected, there was still one thing missing. Last Friday afternoon, the team is inside the Alara Center for their final walkthrough before Saturday's game with Idaho State. Unknown to Austin is that his mother and brother have arrived from Texas for the surprise of a lifetime.
Joy, absolute joy. I'm complete. I really am. I'm now complete. You are amazing. You are simply amazing.
It was the complete happiness, really. I don't know, it's been a long time coming, and it was nice to see him finally.
Long overdue. Long overdue.
Bubba, two families really rallying around to make sure one young man has had a good life.
Yeah, what a great story, and just shows you things more important than football in this world.
Without a doubt. And the Cieslaks have played such an important role for Austin throughout the years as well.
Yeah, great story, and they raised a wonderful young man.
Bubba's back a little bit later as we'll preview North Dakota's road date with Weber State here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota, RideLCars.com, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back. You just watched UND and NDSU in volleyball in a non-conference match. This past week, UND split a pair of Big Sky Conference matches. UND beat Weber State last Thursday night at the Betty, and Chelsea Mosier was dominant in this match. Mosier's game has broadened this year. She's playing so well in front of the setter, so well behind the setter. Her defensive game has also improved this year, and she was absolutely unstoppable in the first set. Mosier with 4 kills, 3 digs, and 2 blocks in the first set as North Dakota won the opener 25-23. Mackenzie Hart continues on a record pace in the dig category, 18 in the match on Thursday night. And Amanda Harnett got back in the lineup for North Dakota. The lefty on the left was effective. Check out this cross-court advantage that she has as a left-hander. And North Dakota won the second set 25-19. Courtney Place, the young freshman, despite being somewhat limited with injuries lately, played well in this match. Here she shows off her power. Julia Kazarowski had a great hitting night. She had 9 kills and hit .412. And North Dakota would win this match in 3 sets over Weber State to improve to 4-1. Idaho State, really arguably the best team of the Big Sky, coming to the Betty on Saturday afternoon. And yet Julia Kazarowska had another fine match. Sydney Griffin had 31 assists in the match. Courtney Place had 5 kills. And Idaho State won the first set 25-17. Kazarowska was nearly flawless, just 1 attacking error on the night. Bailey Bars was good for Idaho State. The Bengals had 5 players with 8+ digs. Kazarowska going to work again off the block and out. Idaho State, though, won the second set 25-21. Chelsea Mosier tied Kazarowska with a team-leading 10 kills. But Bars was effective again with 6 kills. And despite North Dakota hitting well with Kazarowska and Mosier and Dooley combining for just 5 errors, it was a 3-set sweep for Idaho State, which remains unbeaten in Big Sky Conference play. Head coach Schweigert returns next as we preview UND's date with Weber State this Saturday.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota, RideLCars.com, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Next up for North Dakota, a road game at Weber State, which is coming off a win at Montana last Saturday. Bubba, let's talk with the injury situation first. Keaton Studsrud, where is he in your game plan this week?
Well, right now he's day-to-day, so he was in early this week and is studying the game plan and getting ready to play.
Late week decision on him.
I would imagine that's what it's going to be.
Cole Reyes, might he return this week?
There's a probability of that, and sure would be fun to have him back, but also day-to-day.
Yeah, and could you get Clive Georges, the wide receiver, back in your offense?
Yeah, we think he's running around pretty well, and we'll see where the thumb is by the end of the week.
Yeah. All right, Weber State's probably feeling pretty good about itself. It went to Missoula, beat Montana for the first time in 28 years. This is a team that likes to run the football, so you're back to defending the run this week.
Yeah, both teams like to run the football, and both teams defending the run pretty well. So good matchup for us, and what an impressive win they had on the road, and I'm sure they'll be full of confidence in home game. And it's just really a balanced league this year. You just got to be on top of your game to earn a positive result.
They ran the ball 61 times against Montana.
Yeah, and they did it with two different backs, and the quarterback's a good runner, so a very physical football team.
Couple things that are most important to you as you head to the weekend besides trying to get as healthy as you can?
Yeah, we got to take care of the ball and win the time of possession battle, and just no big plays on defense, especially no big plays for scores.
All right, Bubba, Weber State. Next up for your football team, we'll recap it next week here on UND Sports Extra. We thank you for watching, and we invite you to stay tuned next for North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry here on Midco Sports Network.